There's a moment, and if you've traded long enough, you've probably felt this, where everything just goes still. No overthinking, no FOMO, no rush to prove anything. You're just sitting there watching, calm, focused, quiet. And in that moment, you realize that this is what winning feels like. But most traders never get there. They're too loud, but not in a literal way, but mentally, emotionally, internally. Their thoughts are loud, their doubts are loud, their goals are loud. It's like they're shouting at the market, I need this trade to work. I need this to be the one. And the market doesn't care. See, the quietest trader in the room doesn't need to prove anything. They've already made peace with the fact that the market isn't here to serve them. It doesn't owe them anything. And that mindset right there is where the real power lives. Most people think trading is about aggression, being fast, catching moves, staying busy, dominating the screen. But the ones who win long term, they're built different. They're not chasing energy, they are the energy. Calm, controlled, and intentional. You ever walk into a room and just feel someone's presence without them saying a word? That's what the quiet trader brings to the market. It's a type of stillness that you can't fake. It comes from experience, yes, but more than that, it comes from detachment. Not in a cold, robotic way, but in a disciplined way. They're not trading to feel something. They're not trading to fill a void. They're trading because it's aligned with a plan, a purpose. Everything else, they let it pass. And that's the opposite of how most people operate. Most traders are loud, even when they're silent. You can see it in the way that they move, the way that they click around on the chart. They're always scanning, always reacting. If the market makes a twitch, they're flinching like it's personal. But the quiet trader, nah, they're still, unbothered. They wait because they know that the game rewards patience, not panic. You ever notice the loudest traders, the ones who always need to prove that they caught the top or caught the bottom, they burn out the fastest because they're addicted to being right. And that addiction makes them fragile. The quiet trader doesn't care about being right. They care about staying right. That's a very different thing. They're not here for validation. They're here for clarity. And that clarity allows them to do the one thing that most traders never master: sit out and wait. That's one of the hardest things you can do in trading. Nothing. Especially when the world is screaming at you to do something. When your P&L is flat. When Twitter is bragging about catching 100 pip moves. When your friend is texting you, bro, did you catch that? The noise gets loud. And that's when the weak traders crack. But the quiet trader, they cool with missing the move because they don't need to be in everything. Because they trust their edge. They know that if it's not my setup, it's not my trade. It creates margin. Not just in your account, in your mind, in your body. You start to think clearly again. That clarity makes you deadly in the market because when everyone else is caught up in the noise, you see the structure. You see the trap forming before it springs. You see the breakdown before it even confirms. You're not reacting anymore. You're responding. That's a different level of awareness. And I promise you, when you learn to stay silent when others are impulsive, you start seeing things that they don't. The market isn't a game of speed. It's a game of silence, because silence lets you observe. It creates a space between stimulus and response. It creates pause, and that pause is where your power is. Ask yourself, what's my relationship with silence when I trade? Do I check my P&L every 5 minutes like it's going to change who I am? Do I rush into setups just because I feel like I need to? If the answer is yes, you're playing the wrong game. That's not trading. That's emotional gambling. The quiet trader doesn't need constant confirmation. They're not married to the outcome. They're married to the process. They fall in love with not forcing it. That's the paradox. The less you try to make money, the more consistently it comes. Because now you're aligned with something deeper, something most traders never tap into. You're no longer fighting the market. You're moving with it. And look, I get it. In the beginning, we're all loud. We overtrade, we overshare, we overthink. But over time, you realize nobody's watching. Nobody's scoring you. There's no bonus for being the most active. There's no trophy for the most charts analyzed. You either made money or you didn't. You either protected your edge and your strategy or you didn't. And more importantly, you either respected yourself or you didn't. Because that's what it really comes down to. Quiet trading is self-respect in action. It's saying, I don't need to chase. I don't need to force. I don't even need to impress. It's knowing that you could potentially sit in front of the market today for 10 hours and only move once. Maybe not at all. It's a power most traders never access because they're too busy chasing feedback. But the quiet trader, they already know who they are. And that's why they win.